Stuff tonight.
No, I have to, this I have. You,
I said,
this morning, when you said it, I said, wow, I'm surprised.
something.
I'm sorry.
Oh, reject.
People are doing it.
Yeah. During dinner tonight.
Came close last night.
Yeah. So he was gonna.
Last night. Oh man.
So you should get that.
Yeah. 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 It was a great time. Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't even gotten. I've got Barcelona done. I got Venice mostly done. We haven't even gotten to France or the rest of Italy.
I never look at what I shoot. A month or two later, just because I like it.
I've been trying to go in order and not skip ahead. That's hard to do. It's really hard. Did you put this up right next to the microphone?
Yeah, I'll put it with the pointer. So the next 15%, yeah. 10% of the whole, and then 15% of the whole yellow. So the total is 25%, give or take, depending on how many ties you get. Percent of the whole. talk here for a minute. We're talking here for a minute. Okay, good. Playing at it. It sure helps.
I don't, that's the problem.
Surely you're right. Right and left arrows. Right and left arrows. Not working. I had it working here a minute ago. Yeah. We tried it again. There's two versions in those. You have to be out there really early this weekend. George, necessarily simple.
I thought you were a genius.
Yeah, but I haven't figured out how to get phones and PCs to talk to each other, but I haven't there yet.
Okay.
What is it you want to transfer?
No, you know how you get like a security blanket group of images and then you throw yourself out of your wheelhouse, which is what I did, which I like. So maybe I'm just going to stick with what I did. You know, because there's a small part of me that's thinking that these aren't good enough. Did you ever do that?
Hmm?
Did you ever do that?
What? Try and get out of my wheelhouse?
No, you do that anyways. I'm talking about certain images that I usually have with me in my presentation are images that everybody's seen. And I don't want to do that anymore. But then it's like a security.
Then you don't have the intuition that you had with the comfort that you had with the images.
And maybe this is a good thing.
You'll be fine.
Okay. I'm not nervous. I'm just thrown off a little. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
And if you want to go back to the picture when you remember something else, you can do that.
So I left at 4.
1, 2, 3.
And got here.
1, 2, 3.
Have a long day? Did you get a nap?
No, I'm fine. Not yet.
It's on.
Okay,
It's on.
take our seats.
It's,
We're going.
But switch on the top here. You just
So where's
flip
this
that to
go?
the other side. Put this on your collar.
My collar. Okay, where's this go?
You can put it on your belt.
My belt. I actually have a belt.
There you go.
Okay.
Wherever you can.
All right. So
Okay. Get everybody seated here.
see if I know what I'm doing still.
Good evening.
Your mic is
Welcome to
live.
our 226th meeting,
Oh, so
our 21st birthday. So happy
Can you help
birthday,
me?
everybody. Give yourself a big hand. 21 years, that's
come on,
something.
smart
Any
ass.
new members here
I
tonight?
hate when people know what they're doing.
Any guests here tonight?
Put your hand up.
Well. Hi, welcome. All right. As previously announced, we do have patches, club patches. If you're interested in getting one, they're $5 and they're at the registration desk. Be sure and check out the free table We'd like to have all that gone before the end of the evening. And at the end of the evening, there'll be 8 door prizes. So without further ado, I'll introduce the master of ceremonies, Marcel.
Oh, is that me?
That's you. You can't hear it.
Do you notice the new podium? Is this cool? I don't have to hold the mic up in the air. Anyway, thinking about, oh, here's the agenda. Now look at that. Oh, I guess it's, I'm first. I got it first before I start to tell you about our trip to Tarpon Springs. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Is it all good?
Yes.
All right. I've been thinking about my mom. I lost her about, it's got to be 20 years now that I lost my mom. But I have a lot of fond thoughts and memories about her, and I'm sure all of you do about your mom. One time when I was 6 years old, I don't remember a hell of a lot from being 6, but I'm 6 years old in the living room, and she comes in the living room and she's scolding me. What are you doing? You're pulling the cat's tail. And I said, I'm not pulling his tail. I'm just holding it. He's doing the pulling. So she was, the one thing I remember most about mom was she didn't like to cook. She just, and she couldn't cook. She just refused to learn how. So my brothers and I would just, we belonged to a club, so we'd just get a burger or whatever we wanted, and Dad just paid the bill at the end of the month. But she couldn't cook, and most of that was because she didn't want to. But when I figured it out, I was about 12 or 13 years old, and one day I saw her try to cut a grapefruit with a can opener, so I knew my mom couldn't cook when she did that. Oh, by the way, Tarpon Springs trip. I did put some literature on the tables, and there's 3 sheets. One tells you about the trip and who to contact. The other sheet says if you want to be a participant in the trip, and I'll need some contact information so I can keep in touch as we get near to the date. It's pretty far off, but time goes quickly. So you might want to, if you feel like you might want to be part of the trip, just go ahead and print your name on there and give me your email address and your phone number, and just hand me the sheet tonight, and I'll add you to the list electronically, so I'll have your name and contact information. Then the other one is for the pontoon boat ride. There's 2 different boat rides. The one boat ride is a pontoon boat that I'll be captaining. So I probably have to pay you to join me on that one. But I'll be the captain of the pontoon boat, but we can only get a small number of people on that. So if you see that on there. And then there's another one, if you want to do the combination of a lunch or a brunch type boat ride, and that would be fun as well. So just, if you have any questions during the break, just come on over and ask me your questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So if you don't have literature on your table, I did save 3 sheets for myself so I'd know what the heck I'm talking about. So, did I bore you already? Pardon me?
You're 3 sheets to the wind.
I'm 3 sheets to the wind. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay. Next up, Chuck Bloom. 3 smartphone tips.
Couple of them actually I gave a little while ago, so I'm going to repeat. Now, the thing is, I use an iPhone, so if somebody who uses an Android wants to join me and give tips for Android, that's fine, because I don't know how much it translates over to the Android. On an iPhone, and I'm guessing Android, if you tap it, the screen, you're doing a picture and you just tap it, that's where it will focus. So if there's a face you want or a landmark or something, you tap it where you want it. Now, suppose it's a moving object and you want to lock the focus. Get a golden square. If you tap and hold it, you get the AE lock and the AF lock, both with it, just by holding the golden square. And if it's too bright or if it's too dark, On the right-hand side of that square, there's a little line with a little tiny circle. Slide it up and down, and you'll see a change on your phone from bright to dark. So that's just that little square that pops up. I don't know if it's the same thing on Android. One other quick little thing, always shoot in RAW, which everybody should know anyway, because most phones allow you to shoot in RAW, and you know the benefits of shooting in RAW. That's 3.5 tips.
Okay, I presume Priscilla's here. I didn't see her earlier. Ah, there she is. Okay, you're up next, Priscilla. Let's give her a big hand.
I got a phone call or an email from the Friends of the Library. And they asked us for a couple dates, and I said, okay, well, how about October, November? And they said, fine. So we're gonna have, an art show at the Central Avenue Library in November and October, November. And, more information will be coming. So think about it, and, hopefully we'll have a nice show. Thank you.
Wow, really rolling along tonight. Usually it takes a lot longer, doesn't it?
Some extra time.
All right. And now we have our premier guest speaker, Art Becker. So take it away, Art.
Hello, Bart.
Am I on?
You're on. You're on.
Can people hear me
You
okay?
need to unmute,
Unmute what? Unmute the mic?
unmute the mic. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I have a loud voice anyways. Are you gonna say anything? Okay.
Yeah, let's say what I said this morning.
Uh-oh.
I've worked with Art 2 years in a row now at the FCCC conference, and I've attended his lectures. His photos inspire me because I'm as off the wall as he is. You tend to miss things when you're just out with your camera, but what Art taught me or shared with me gives me the opportunity to see things that I might not see. I said he's kind of scattered-brained, and that's a good thing because he's seeing all the stuff that's going on around. We had an outing this morning for about an hour and a half, once he finally figured out where we were going to meet. And getting lost in Naples is easy, and getting stuck in traffic on 75 is even easier.
That was a good time.
But we had about 9 folks there that joined us. We walked in downtown Naples and got some really nice shots of the architecture and the shadow and the light, which he's going to talk about right now. Welcome, Art.
Thank you. The images I'm showing tonight are images I've never shown at all. One of the comments from this past in March was that they had seen a lot of my pictures. Now, how many people even know who I am and have seen any of my pictures? 4, 5. Yeah, that's it. Raise your hand, lady. Okay, so okay. This is a show I've never done. I've talked about the play of light and shadow. One of the most important things I do is I've been a commercial photographer. Thank you. I've been a commercial photographer for 44 years. I've made my living at this, and I've done advertising photography. So when you go out to photograph with me, I take you completely out of your wheelhouse, unless of course you like the kind of photography that I do, which is very different and very abstract in a lot of ways. And if you have any questions whatsoever about what I'm showing or my imagery or anything tonight, you need to tell me. And I appreciate feedback, because you may be able to learn something from me, but I'm going to learn something from you. I'm going to learn feedback.
And I said to Malin a few minutes ago, I have a selected group of pictures that I show and I have for a while now, a few years. And I'm comfortable when they're in my presentation. They're not in my presentation tonight. So I'm a little out, so it's fine. Scattering, really? That's fine. I can take that. I spoke to Malin yesterday morning after a 2.5 mile walk on Tampa Bay. And I was out of it. And he was asking me questions. And I said, well, I'll see you in the morning. And then I said, and we'll do the presentation. I'll just come home. And he goes, Art, it's tomorrow night. And I went, oh, shit, that is right. I'm sorry. Did I say that? So, all right. Is that broadcast? Okay, that's fine. All right. If you have questions. Now, what kind of camera do I use? I use either an Olympus or a Nikon. Olympus is I have DSLR and I have a mirrorless, and I have Nikon, which is an 800, 850. I don't have a mirrorless Nikon yet, and I did endorsement work for Olympus for 33 years. What that means back in the day is Olympus used to give me free gear for 33 years. Anything I wanted that was new, I got. Anything. Didn't matter what it is. And they got to use my pictures and I got to use their gear. It was a good deal. Back when I felt like Olympus was kind of missing the boat and they started making mirrorless pretty early on, I was unsure of it. And I was reluctant. So I called John Kennard. I said, John, I'm concerned with this mirrorless thing that you tell me is so great. And so I'm not sure about it quite yet. And he said, okay, what are you telling me? I said, I'm leaving. He goes, you don't want free gear anymore? I said, no, John, you're not holding up your end of the bargain. You told me you were going to continue technology, Nikon, Canon, Sony, they're all stepping up. You're not stepping up to the plate. And he goes, what are you switching to? And I said, Nikon. And he said, so you're going to the dark side. And I switched to Nikon D800 and D850 later. The 810 was just a blip, but the 850 and the D800, great cameras, I think. I sold it. And I do like the new mirrorless Nikon. So who knows what I'm going to move into next. But I do like some of the Olympus stuff too. So that's the kind of gear I shoot. I have shot with Sony. I have shot with pretty much everything, but generally as a rule, it's either Nikon or Olympus. But I like the other gear. I like it. Everybody in this room, what we do as photographers is we see things different. We see the unique in every aspect of what we photograph. Now, how many people in this room are birders? Lord. Okay. No, I never photographed birds. Okay, so Kathy and I went on, Kathy's my wife, we went on on a swamp buggy at Kissimmee, Florida. And we got on the swamp buggy and I was with a whole truckload of birders. And I figured something out. There's something wrong with that group. But they are funny and crazy and exceptionally talented. And they threw me out of my wheelhouse because I took them out and made them photograph no birds. I said, no bird photography, and you're going to do something different. And that's kind of what I did this morning. And I like to push you out of your wheelhouse. Why? Because I want you to look at things different. My job has always been to create imagery that stood out, because in advertising, it has to stand out in order for it to sell a product. But it's not always a product, it's a storytelling image. Now, as I go through the images, a little clicker somewhere that I'm supposed to be holding on to, and I may have him go to my website just to make me feel comfortable with the imagery. Now, this picture was taken at Paso Grill. You guys been to Paso Grill? You go across the bridge in St. Pete, and you go the bridge just before the Skyway Bridge. And this is this is late in the afternoon. Sorry, this was late in the afternoon. Thank you for turning that down. That's appreciated. And this is late in the afternoon. Kathy and I went over there. I went over there to see what the hurricane damage was, and I made this image. Now that is that late in it. There's no Photoshop, no retouch, no anything. That's right out of the camera. Yes, in RAW. So we said RAW. So yes, that's an angle I like. But that yellow on the left, to me, looks too bright on the screen. It's not that way in the computer, but it just looks too bright to me in the screen. But I like late afternoon shots. This was taken at John Chestnut Park when I was teaching over there. I go out and teach usually 5 to 6 days a week. And I have individual students, and then I have individual students, which I teach online to Zoom classes. So this is just a little blip of just a little bit of my work. And a shot like this, all I saw was just those tiny little drops with water. And that's just, this is an icon, I believe. Yes. I can generally tell which, that seems odd. This was done in downtown Tampa. There's a place in front of, there's a children's museum, Milton Glaser Children's Museum. And these kids were running back and forth. Kathy and I went over there, and there was a group of kids running through the fountains. So I asked this young man's parents, and just because you don't want to photograph kids at a park, I get it. So I started making some photographs. There's a whole series of them throughout this, not in this presentation. That's in South Carolina. I was there in South Carolina. My son-in-law noticed that I wanted to get it perfect wet. I did one where I sprayed water, but that was a typical shot, and I didn't want to do that. So I like the colors and I like the feel of it. Again, this is about light. Each one is about the uniqueness of light in composition. When I compose in a way that is going to be different. So this could be used for a stock image. It could be used for pretty much anything. This is at Florida Southern College, which is the largest grouping of Frank Lloyd Wright buildings in the world. Florida Southern College in Lakeland. It's a great place to photograph. And this is Robert Stern. Robert Stern is an architect in New York City, his firm. And I was hired to go over there to capture the essence of the building. All the buildings are styled after Frank Lloyd Wright type of architecture. Stern has a different perspective on that. But I like the shadow and the light. Now, I'm talking about composition and light. The play of light and shadow is the thing that makes our images stand out. That's what we focused on this morning, and that's what this is going to focus on primarily now. This is me. I did a stint where I did aerial photography. So I hung out of a 172 Cessna to get this image. This is at 10,000 feet. There's a large piece of property I was hired to photograph for a new Universal project. It takes 25 minutes in a 172 to get to 10,000 feet. If you go to 11,000 feet, when you're that high in the small airplane, you need oxygen. The oxygen's thin here. When you're up at 10,000 feet, the window's open, and you better damn well hope that Tom or Corey is doing a good job. Those are the two people I would only fly with after a while. This is just before we did something called an AVAP. So anybody know what an AVAP is in aerial? An AVAP's when you're flying like this, you're flying straight like this, planes like this, and you go up and up and up, and you keep doing centrical circles. You get to the top. Tom's better at than Corey. Tom would bank and take the plane and turn it just like this. And you're looking straight down at your property at just shy of 11,000 feet. And your body's like this, the plane's like this. The plane hangs when you're doing an AVAP, the propeller shuts off after a few moments. So Tom banks, Corey was terrible at it. Tom banks, turn the plane, and I'd say dump it, Bing, 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 bing. Do 4 sides and I'm done. It's a great way to do it. It's scary. I mean, there's an adrenaline rush and there's parts of it. This is at the Henry Plant Museum. I have a series of images I've done there. And I've been working with the Henry Plant Museum in Tampa. It's got those silver domes in downtown Tampa, if you've seen them on advertising and things like this. This is one of the windows. Now, when I go there, I try to go there when I'm getting this beautiful, real crisp light that's coming through the windows. How many times do you think it took me to get the right amount of light coming through? And how many times do you think I had to go back? Anyone want to guess? 152. That's a pretty extreme. No, it took me 6 times to get the shot right. Now, of course, the client has this concept that you can go there and you can, the light doesn't happen. Everybody in this room knows this, that you're not going to get this shot every single time. It doesn't matter. There's not another shot that exists like this. And we all do the same thing in this room. The pictures you took today, the pictures you took yesterday, the pictures you're going to take tomorrow. Getting a shot like this takes time, patience, and effort. And all that damn gear we all love it. This is Tab Benoit and the Bay Blues Festival. This is me on stage, and Tab Benoit always closes his eyes when he plays the guitar. So each photographer puts in $10, and there's a number of us, and the guy that gets this shot with the eyes open wins the cash. I don't have that one here, but yes, I won last year. That's in April. Tab's a great guitar player, and you know what he plays with? He plugs a guitar in a direct amp. No effects. All done by hand. Tab Benoit is a great guitar player, and every time he's there, he closes the show on Sunday night. And he always invites me back because he makes his own gumbo. He's from Nolens, as he calls it. And every time I take it, my heartburn lasts from Sunday night until Tuesday. Tab thinks that's funny. This is when I was in Rome. I spent 7, 10 days, 8 days, a week, whatever it was. And I was in Rome. And this is about light. Now, I like this shot when it's darker. I didn't do anything to the shot. I didn't manipulate it. This is getting there early in the morning. So the key here is to get a photograph that's going to jump off the page. The play of light and shadow. It's real simple stuff. This is a friend of mine who's a blues singer. And she wanted to look more passionate. Well, when she was on stage, she wasn't passionate. So I gave her a hard time, and I said, you need to sell this. You need to give me more if you want better images when you're on stage. I can get it, but you have to evoke that emotion. I can't do that for you. I enjoy thoroughly photographing live music all the time, and I do it a lot. Be it blues festivals, jazz festivals, rock shows, you name it. I love it. I love every second of it. Getting her to show this emotion, she said I helped change her career. She gets more gigs now because she shows what she does. My job is to capture what she does and to show that emotion and to transfer it to you so you feel like you're right there. The play of light and shadow, but also capturing the emotion. This is in, there's a newer hotel, God help me all, on Clearwater Beach. There's too many hotels down there. And they asked me if I could come down and photograph the hotel, and they're going to use it inside the hotel as part of the decor. There's a whole series of them. This is just one in a series of about 12 images I did. So Kathy and I went down there one night, and then one time I went down with a student. And so sometimes, and I want that black and white feel to it. This is a little more esoteric than we normally would do. So a shot like this I like. This is a musician. Unfortunately, he died. And I miss him. And he kept saying to me, listen, I trained as an opera singer. I want to show my tattoo. That's the only tattoo he has. He died of a brain aneurysm. So I made the tattoo in focus and made a space out of it. His wife has this in their home. It's one of her favorite shots ever made of him after he died. That's showing emotion. That's that play, that light, the feel of it. But he wanted that tattoo to show. But he didn't do that very often, so he had to pull the shirt up a little bit. And then I was able to get it that way. Anybody have questions? Yet? Nothing? All right. What is this? Does anybody know? What?
Giant insect.
Okay, a giant insect. Have you been to the Dali? Okay, this is the outside, the inside of the Dali with the windows. I struggled for years to get pictures of the Dali that I liked. I wasn't happy with them, they were. I made this photograph by laying down, turning my head, and shooting it in motion. And by creating this. Now I have about 24 of those images till I got one of plate. So this is probably the closest one. There's a whole series. Ooh. We talked about a train station shot, and I wanted to let a little bit of the light bleed in, so I kind of made a change to it. Now the light on the right, is a little blown out, but I like this shot. Have you ever stood on tracks when the train's coming at you?
Yeah.
Okay, don't. Okay, did you know there's a pole when you're there? I didn't know that. I thought that, but that common sense, maybe you're right. Okay, so I can.
I've seen your airplane shot too.
Yes, my airplane shot. That's correct. No, that's not with me. Jeez. All right. This is for UPMC Hammett, which is the hospital in my hometown of Erie, Pennsylvania. And this is a shot of Dr. Dennis Mahal, who was on his best behavior because I was there. This is open heart surgery. I could show more stuff, but I got to photograph open heart surgery. Next to watching my 2 children being born, thank you very much, I got to see a heart, a live heart, beating inside the guy's chest. That's the most incredible thing ever. And Dennis Mahawk was on his best behavior. In fact, the nursing staff and the operating staff asked if I could come back every day because he was much easier to get along with when I was around. Apparently, he's a little difficult to deal with because he's starved. So we did a series of images of him doing surgery. And it was a lot of fun to work on. So again, all about the light, all about showing. That red is from the edge where there was a bag with blood vein, and they got a perfusionist, and he takes the heart and they slow the heart down. It's amazing. It's again, it's the coolest thing I've ever photographed next to watching my kids being born. It's just amazing stuff. Again, playing with light and shadow. Yes, sir.
In these critical projects.
Okay, let me see here. Personal projects. Okay. We'll go back. Personal. Business. I did a story in Rome. Business. Business. So, I don't really differentiate between photographing for myself and photographing for a client. Now, how many people in this room are familiar with stock photography? All right. Really? So stock photography is images I go out and photograph for me, and I sell the usage of those images. Now, somebody said earlier, They don't want to take their pictures and sell them because they've already had 2 careers. And so they want to do that. And I took that to heart because I do. I still love making photographs, even if somebody's not buying, because it's what I do. It's what I love to do. So it's just part of who I am. Okay, play of light and shadow. Kathy took me to a park, which is off of the end of 4th Street in St. Pete. She was looking at the park and she was going to do some kind of class there. And I was untrusting of the building. And so I just kind of walked around and this great shadow was there. So that's for me. So it could end up to be a stock photo, it could end up to be an art photo, it could end up to be it's not really important to me. What's important to me is I capture the essence of what I'm seeing. So anybody know this building? Okay, okay. I'd give my eye teeth to bring a group of students there, a group of anybody to take them. This is Florida Polytechnical University off of I-4. You've been there. It's a great place to photograph, and I have permission to bring people there. And so that's a great building to photograph. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. You can get a ton of pictures. It's an amazing building, and it's fun to photograph. If you guys ever want to go there, let me know. Yes, it's incredible. It's incredible. Huh? They're incredibly friendly to photographers. Parking's a little dicey, but other than that, it's not bad. I'm sorry? Well, you don't really have a choice. I could talk Tom into landing in the field, but Corey won't. He's never mind. All right. I like cars. I like classic cars. They don't make cars like they used to. They stopped making cars with style a while ago. I like old cars, and I photograph them a fair amount. But this is a hood ornament. It's Tampa Bay Auto Museum in Pinellas County. It's a great little museum. It's a lot of fun to photograph. This is, again, that's at Florida Southern College. That's Frank Lloyd Wright architecture, my favorite. That play of light and shadows is the key. So if you get there early enough in the day, I'm a morning person, so it depends on your schedule and things like that. But it's a great place to go photograph. It's not all that far. That'd be about 5 hours, right? No, 5 hours? It's an hour from us. This is 3.5, so 4 hours, 4.5. Not bad. This is from Mercyhurst University. Mercyhurst University is a small college in my hometown. I photographed their dance partner for 10 years. So anything I wanted. The one thing I did learn about photographing ballet students is that when you ask them to go on point and you hold them up because you're trying to get a focus, they remind you that they can kick their foot over the top of their head. I was reminded of that many times. This is from a 172 Cessna. I was with a different pilot, not Tom and not Corey. I was with Jim. Jim and I had interesting conversations. Jim decided to fly around the storm, and I wanted to fly through the storm. So we decided we would fly near the storm. There was lightning shortly thereafter, and we almost didn't make it back to St. Petersburg, and Jim was yelling at me. Jim's a better man now, so which is good, and he's still alive, and we're both still alive, so that's a good thing. Play of light and shadow, simple shot in Orlando on my way there. You're shaking your head. You like that? No. Okay. Okay. So when you're making a photograph like this, what am I looking for? What am I looking for, folks? Come on. What? Light. Why is light so important here? What drew your eye initially? The orange. That's what drew my eye initially too. It's the same thing that draws all of our eye there. When we're walking around, driving around, whatever we're doing as a photographer, it draws your eye, it changes your perspective. Everything changes how you look at something. That's an angle. This was for me. This is just for me. So I like shots like this. I still do. I don't care if it sells. I like it. That's the most important part. You like it. Make your photographs different. Do not do the same stuff because your pictures will look the same all the time. Try something out of the ordinary and you'll stand out. Your image will, but you will too. Something simple. I turned Kathy's teapot on. I left it on too long, so maybe the bottom got a little weird, but nevertheless, this is in front of one of the buildings, our home. It's just a simple little shot. That play of light and shadows, right? It's real simple. This isn't sophisticated. It's not a particularly great photograph, but I like it because I like the play of light and shadow. This is the new pier in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hunter Booth designed it. I'm a friend of his cousin's. And I had one person go all the way down there and stand there. You see that one person? It shows scale. See him? Right there. Right by the building. And I wanted it to show scale. And every time I look at it, I'm short, so it doesn't matter. I want somebody taller, so it makes the own thing. So I like the shot. That's the play of light shadow. I was teaching twilight photography, and that's how the shot came about. This is in Orlando, Kathy. Kathy and I were waiting for an Italian restaurant they were crowded, and a table for two in the rain. Now, that's for me, and I like the way the rain changes here in Florida. It's different in PA. In Pennsylvania, it rains, and it rains all friggin' day, and the sky's gray. In Florida, it gets almost luminescent. It's because of the position of the sun and where we live. And so I like the luminescence. And I didn't do anything. I just cropped it on the left. That actually looks tight. It looks too tight. So sometimes those things crop. All right. I think you have this, Malin, right? Kathy was making, we're going to have margaritas or something for a holiday. And of course, she was making them. And I grabbed a tray because the light was coming through the window. And she's like, can I have that back? You can have it back in a minute. You're going to wash those later? I don't think so. So it's conversation about putting things on the ground and moving the whole house around so I can get the light. Right. Oh. What is this?
Horse.
Yes. Okay. This is taken. If you go over the Skyway going towards St. Petersburg, there's a woman who used to be there. And she would take the horse, she calls them sea ponies, and she would take them in the water and charge people an outrageous sum of money to ride these horses around the bottom of the Skyway. And what I discovered about her is that I nicknamed her the horse Nazi. She's the rudest. Her husband was the nicest, coolest guy. And she was yelling at the people who paid her $800 for an hour. She even yelled at me, and I didn't do anything other than try to make photos for her so she could use them. And one of the photos I liked, and it almost looks like it's ice. And I kept getting closer and closer, and she said I was going to spook the horse. I don't think so. So I called her the horse Nazi. In fact, I think ESPN was going to do a story on her. And they called me and said, what's this lady like? And she's the horse Nazi. She's nuts. And they pulled the plug in the story. So, you got to do what you got to do. Okay. I like this. See the bird? The play of light and shadow. Okay. A plumiere, is that right? I can't say it right, but yeah, I knew it started with that time. Okay, so that's not bad. Okay,
Frangipani.
please. All right, I think this is at outside of Lexington. It's a Shaker village. Shakers were a sect that were celibate, and so Shakers kept dying out. Duh. And I was there. I did an essay story. I made a deal with them. I would photograph from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and I would photograph from 5 p.m. to twilight every day. I wouldn't shoot during the day because I wouldn't hang out with Gab. So that's my deal. I did a whole essay story for them. I only included one image with that. Okay. Yeah. This is, who is this? Is this Walter Matthau? No. Okay. I'm going to have you pull some. Can you pull my site up? Can you do that? Okay. This is VJ Kaiser. VJ Kaiser, the reason I'm standing here. He's my high school art teacher. He's the guy who suggested I try photography when I was in high school. He's the guy who pushed me to go to college. He's the guy who changed my life and changed my career. That's why I show that. I show that in every presentation I've done for the last 30 years. Okay. It's artbeckerphoto.com.
Yeah.
Or did you remember that?
Almost.
Almost? Really? Almost?
Yeah.
After all the nice things I've said about you? There it is, right there.
That one?
Click on there. Site. Website. Okay. Go to portfolios. I'm sorry. Could you please go to portfolios? Doesn't it sound so much nicer? Go to portfolios. Is
Yeah.
it opening?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, good. Okay, so click on it again.
Click on what?
Portfolios on the left.
We're on portfolios.
No, we're not. We're on the introduction. Now, okay, tell me what you want to see. You want to see nature? You want to see people? You want to see architecture? What do we got? Come on, guys. Architecture. Click on architecture, please. First one in. Okay. These are my architecture photos. I photographed architecture all over the world. God only knows how I pulled that off, but I have. This is just a small amount of my work. Keep going. Just scroll up. Malin, I'm going to owe you big time. Keep- That's an example of play of light and shadow. Now I'm starting to feel comfortable. Okay, Malin. Okay, click out of that. Click the X. Start. Please, sorry. Please scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Okay, click on the picture with the purple flowers.
Purple flowers.
Or to the left.
This one here?
Yeah. That's across the street from Niagara Falls. That's shot with a mirror lens. A mirror lens is a little tiny lens about this big. It's one of the freebies I got from Olympus. Go ahead, click on the X, please. God, you're doing this so well. I could take you on the road. Okay, keep going.
You can't afford me.
Ooh. Okay, click on the black and white right there.
This one?
Mm-hmm. That's that shot. You guys want to go there? It's a great place to photograph. Okay, click the X, please. I couldn't afford you. Maybe. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Left corner.
This one?
No, down. That's in downtown Hartford. Now, how in the hell did I get the street cleared of all the cars during the day in downtown Hartford? No. I saw a policeman and I said, what would it take to get all those cars cleared during the day? And he said, a fifth of Jack. I bought him a fifth of Jack. My client bought it and they got the street cleared. I love that. All right. Click out of that. Please. Sorry. Click down. Click that one. Click up right there.
This one?
Mm-hmm. That's a real sky. The only problem I had in getting this photograph is the moron from FedEx didn't want to take his 3 packages and carry them in from across the street. So I convinced him that would be an okay idea. Look at that. Thank you very much. Scroll up. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. All right. Everything and anything you can think of, I photographed. Pretty much. Okay, click out of that box and go back to portfolios. Just click the arrow and portfolios. Now pick another category. Nature or people? People. People. Click on people. All right. Whatever I have to photograph is what I photograph. I want to show you a bigger variety. I feel much more at home. Some of these images you may have seen. Is that right, Joe? Okay, thank you. True, true. Okay, so you name it, I photographed it. Anything and everything. You notice, what do you see consistently? What? Faces. What else do you see consistently about what? Composition. What are you seeing? Come on, what is it? Okay, what else?
Emotions.
Emotions, thank you. Storytelling. If you're going to photograph, click on, not BJ, but click on the one in the left-hand corner. Is that in Bangladesh or downtown St. Pete? It's actually in downtown St. Petersburg. And Kathy noticed it before I did. I'd never seen a woman hold a child that way. See, emotion. Emotion, what you're looking for in your photos. Yes, sir. Is it a random photo? I creepily followed her through the crowd. And when she stopping at yogurt things, she was trying to get her kids yogurt, but she finally stopped in a place where I knew I could sepia tone it. As luck would have it, her husband cuts up coconuts and sells them at the market, the St. Pete market. I saw that skull cap on the baby, and I asked him, I said, have you ever seen these people? You have the same kind of skull cap. And he got tears in his eyes. His tears ran down his face. That's his wife and his daughter. What are the chances of that happening? Slim to never. Of course, he has a copy. Go ahead, click out of that. Click. Yes, sir. Click on what? These children were being baptized. I wish they were all in bare feet. I asked them if I could photograph in a delicate way, being sensitive to the situation. I did make photographs. I found out the church. It's a Baptist church not too far from there. I went in, the mother saw when the young girl held her hand up and the boy turned, and I got a perfect ring light. And when the mother saw it, she cried. You can't get that kind of emotion unless you're invested in your photography. Light and shadow. Go ahead. Okay. Go to another category, please. And we're going to go to nature. I don't do a ton of it, so you guys are probably better at this than I am. All right, right there, the first one. That's Corey. Corey, God help me. Corey is a really good pilot, except I asked him to turn around so I could get a perfect sunny 16 roll in the sky in Asheville, North Carolina. And he turned the plane around and he said, if you don't get the damn shot, I'm going to push you out of the plane. So, because we were late. Okay, so that's one frame. And that was going. Yes, sir. No. No, I crop my images, and if any photographer in this room says they don't crop, I'm damn well impressed, because I am. And do I add some saturation? When I first used Photoshop, the saturation tool should have been taken away from me. Now, if I go past 5 points, it's a thing. So I don't. Okay, go to the next one, please. Thank you. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, please. Thank you. You're doing amazing. Again, we're going to take some road. Okay, keep going, going. Okay, so these are images that I will make. for me, but not always. But not, okay, go to the mountains on the left, up, right there, black and white. That's up. Why is that square? It's a longer shot. That's weird. Huh? No, it's not a square, but it's a longer shot when you look at it on my website, is what I'm saying. Okay. This was taken out of an airplane window. I saw this mountain range. I knew we were going to pass. I was flying from the East Coast, from the West Coast to the East Coast. And the only way I could get this picture is if I had to get up and I asked the lady to move. And I leaned out in front of her. She followed the flight attendant. By the time the flight attendant hit the shutter, it was fine. I sat back down. Kathy could tell you that you should probably get a 15% discount if you sit next to me in the airplane because I'm disruptive, photographically speaking. So again, right place, right time, right situation.
Did you put a hood or a rubber thing to shoot through the airplane window or just?
No, you put your camera right up against the glass. It was we did that today, and it photographs what's beyond the glass. Hey, go ahead. Okay, scroll down, please. Okay, all these are all over the United States and worldwide, which is a good thing. Keeps me off the streets. Okay. Okay, keep going. All right. Any more cat? To Roma, right there. Okay. This is when I was in Rome. You just scroll down to all. Just scroll down. Thank you. This is me when I was in Rome for an essay story. Yes, that's Pope Benedict. So, in fact, I almost got in trouble with one of those pictures. How didn't I, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, okay. We can click out of it. All right. All right. We're good. I think we're good. Okay. That's really bizarre stuff. Okay. So go ahead. All right. I'm good. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. Click out of VJ. Please ask me some questions, unless you know everything.
What's the need for aerial photography?
I'm sorry, it's loud. I thought that traditional aerial photography was gone, but it's not. There's an image in there that I was hired to go to Chicago and photograph the city of Chicago. And I said, well, you got tens of thousands of really great photographers in Chicago. Why the hell did you hire me? He goes, because somebody said they work with you and they said you have a really good sense of humor and you're easy to get along with, and I don't want to punch you in the face after 3 days of being with you. And I said, okay, so you want a shot of the city of Chicago. Okay. He said, why is it going to take 3 days? Should it take 3 hours? I said, let's think about this, okay? You want me to take a 172 Cessna, a 4-seater airplane, fly it from St. Petersburg to Chicago, which takes forever, in the windy city, in a little tiny plane, and you're complaining about the cost. Do I have that right? I said, if you're so hell-bent on trying to save money, go up in the plane with me. Why do you think they call it the Windy City, dude? Think of a rowboat in the ocean. Not a fun event. The window's open. I am with one of my favorite pilots, and it was a lot of fun to shoot, but the window's open. You remember, it's a little plane. There's no, you can breathe in it. It's not a big deal, but it's a lot of fun. So that's kind of the projects I like doing. Any other questions? Yes, sir. I don't use a tilt shift lens any longer because I can correct later. I did use a tilt shift lens when I started. I no longer have to. Most of the correction I do in Photoshop. But if I don't do it in Photoshop, the thing that I learned is if you back up far enough with like a 17 to 24 Nikon, you can get it perfectly perpendicular. So that's true. And as long as you back up, I did used to use them until things changed and changed for all of us as photographers.
Do you ever create your own shadows or just what nature frames.
No, I don't agree. What nature gives me. Nature is the best palette on the planet. I can never be that good, nor am I. Nature is the most amazing light ever. Yes.
Be in the picture you showed of the Frank Lloyd Wright building, because the shadows were coming from behind you towards the
Because I'm
building.
not that tall and I could move back just a little bit and go to the one out.
The sun,
Just move over just a little bit.
that's all you did.
Mhm.
Okay.
If you look at one of the shots from the picture of it that was taken at the place off the beautiful I-4, if you go in there, if you look at my shots, really look at them carefully, and one of the shots that the client likes the most, there's a little tiny bump in the edge of it. You know what that bump is? My butt. And the client goes, Art, what is that? I said, I couldn't make myself skinny enough. And he goes, what? It's my shadow. It's my butt. It's not that big, but nevertheless, you can only do what you can do within the limits of what you got. If I was taller and thinner, maybe, but I'm not. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Doctor operating.
Yes. In the operating room. I don't work in the gallery. That's for sissies. Okay. I got permission. I got release forms. I had to dress. I had to scrub. I had to scrub my camera. I accidentally touched my elbow on a tray, got yelled at. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, the gal, I joke about that, but I said no to the gal. You guys want me to do this? Let me do it the real way. So you got to get permission. There's a lot of, in fact, the family of the guy whose heart they fixed absolutely loves the picture because I have him in the foreground. I have him in the foreground, and his heart breaks. It's just a little. It's a pretty, and he's still alive, which I think is spectacular that we can do that. Other questions? Any other questions? Yes, Miss. I'm sorry. Sit down. Yeah, I've been told no more than yeah, but no. You know what I mean? So I look pretty, I come across pretty disarming as opposed to huh?
Not harmless.
No, not harmless at all, but not very often. No, I mean, I've gotten access to things you'd never believe I got access to. And it's just because, and the other thing I do is I have a model release that I carry with me. And I've talked about this before. The model release says, what is your name? Huh? Nancy. Nancy, would you sign a model release that says that I would subject you to scandal, ridicule, scorn, and reproach now and in perpetuity? Would you sign that? No, no one in this room would sign it. I have that model release. If you guys want a copy of it, I'll send you a copy. It's the most intense model release on the planet. I had it drawn up by an attorney friend in Miami a long time ago. I've been using it for a long time. One time in my career, a guy didn't sign it. And I said, what's the problem? And he goes, who wrote this up? The devil? My God. And so I had it drawn up because of contingencies that come up in your career. And you want to protect yourself, especially when you're photographing people. Because I'm very protective of children, I'm very protective of lots of things. So I am respectful of that. So I watch that kind of thing. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Out of the blue, I walk up and say, hi, my name's Art Beckman. I'm a commercial photographer. And I'm going to show you a little bit of my work. I'm interested in making a photograph of you. Are you good with that? Are you okay with that? And I don't know. It seems easy for me. It doesn't, I've never really struggled with it in my whole career. I don't know why that is. That's just, I'm at ease with myself and who I am. I have been since I was young, so it's not a big deal. Yes,
Do you get releases because you are a professional photographer and are going to use these pictures?
potentially, yes.
Okay.
But here's another caveat. Every single time I've made a photograph of somebody, if they ask me for a print, I've sent it. A ton of photographers always say, well, I'll send you something. And they never do. Ethics is what you do when nobody's looking.
But if you weren't going to possibly use them,
I still want to use anyways because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And just say, for example, maybe a year from now it sells. Or maybe it never sells. Maybe I don't care if it does. But I just want to protect myself legally. Because I think that's a smart thing to do. Because we can be a litigious society. I'm not a litigious person by nature, but I'm protective of my imagery. I photographed film for 20 years and I photographed digital for I don't know how many years. And right now I have this, it's really staggering to say this. I have over 1 million images that I've kept. So imagine how many I've deleted or gotten rid of. And I still have all my negatives too. Oh gosh, yes. My son helped me with that, which was tremendous. So other questions? Other questions about technique, light, anything? Nothing. Okay, are we all tired? Because I am. I've been up since 4. Who said me too? We're on the same page. I think our ages are slightly different.
81.
Oh, you're still up. I think we're good. Okay. No other questions? Yes, sir. Say that one. I can't hear you. No, because they're in public domain. I love street photography, but I don't do it. So it's not something I'm in the habit of doing. If I see somebody that's interesting, I may click the shutter and ask after. But generally, it's because I think that it's a possibility it might be something good. But I don't put it on social media or do anything with it till I get their permission. Yeah, I think that's wrong.
expectation of privacy.
Okay, what's your name?
Gail,
Gail, suppose I take a picture of you right now, wrapped up because you're cold. Wrapped up because you're cold in this room. No, it's okay. And I take this picture of you and I decide I'm going to sell it. And it's on a billboard off of I-75.
F4.
What? Say that again? Nobody reads anything up I-4. They're just trying to stay out of traffic. So, and I sell that picture. Is that good?
this draws a line in public place, private place, because it's a private.
I agree with you, but I err on the side of caution because I think that's healthy.
Walking down the street.
You're walking down the street, you see a really interesting person, and you click the shutter, you use the telephoto lens, they never even see you, and nobody ever knows. But your pictures aren't going out to the public in general, are they?
So, not many,
But if they are,
yeah.
I'm just cautious. I think that's healthier for me. But I don't know. But again, I'm not on Facebook any longer. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on Instagram. I got off Facebook because I got hacked. It's a long story and I don't want to go into it. But I will just explain that I'm very, very careful. That's all. And again, I just people don't want to see their likeness on a billboard. Well, they might. So you understand.
Do you
Okay.
get a lot of copyright infringement where you, from your images?
You mean have people stole my work?
Yes.
Yeah, they have. And I've had to contact, the first thing I contact is my stock agency. The second thing I contact is the United States Copyright Office. As soon as I do that, they get a cease and desist. if it's not taken down or taken away, their website or information is shut down by somebody else. It's legal. Yeah, don't steal my stuff. I'm a nice guy, but I'm not, it's my intellectual property. It's how I make money. So I don't think, don't take stuff from me. Yeah.
Try and get them to license it if you found somebody.
The licensee use of it. No, I don't convince them. Once they breach the con, I step away.
Okay.
Was that?
They're dishonest. Why would you deal with them?
Yeah.
Thank you.
If they've already stolen.
If you stole it, they're gonna steal it. So, okay. Other questions? Anybody? We're good? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Do you have your classes and stuff on your website?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. And I teach personal students, live students, Zoom classes. I prefer live. I have a student here in Fort Myers, and I come down to his place usually once a month. And he's a great student. He's a lot of fun to work with. He's in Chicago right now, and I have 6 students across the United States, and which is a lot of fun. I have students all over the country. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and I get to share my knowledge and share my photography. And there's nothing better. Come on, get paid to take pictures for a living. Give me a break. You'd be digging a ditch, so we're good. Malin,
Thank you, Art.
hey, we're taking this on the road.
So those of you who want to see those old pictures that are, we have 2 Zoom lectures that are on our lecture series on a website, August of 22 and August of 23. And I know all those old pictures are in there. When I saw him in 24, I said, I've seen those pictures.
Do you know something much more comfortable I got? See, I felt better. Okay, so, and I have a whole new system coming out, so, which is good. So, thank you very much.
If anybody has won any ribbons, we've got a whole passel of ribbons here to pass out. So if you've won any blue, yellow ribbons, just check with Sonny, and he'll give you the ribbons that you would enjoy. And that's for this competition. Those are current. Okay, we're going to take a break, so everybody enjoy.
Marcel? What? Ready? Well, get up here. Wait.
I was ready 5 minutes.
You can tell him what to do.
I was ready 5 minutes ago. All right, everybody, we're gonna fire it up. Take a seat. Next up, Jim Robillard, AI exhibit submissions. There we go.
October and November, we have a big exhibition at the Marco Island Center for the Arts. And so now it's time for everybody to put their entries in. And just to remind everybody, the categories are, and these are all AI, not to fit into these categories. It's Florida nature, street photography, black and white portraits and scenes, fine art abstracts in Hispanic, Latin American culture and art. And just, it's a 16 by 20 minimum size, matted framed, up to 24 by 36. And you can do that as no frame. And we do have resources to have things printed as well for free. And the center does take 30% of any sale. So this is what it looked like when Art and I did, these were 24 by 36 Art? I think so, yeah. So surprise, and so, you know, those aren't framed, but we printed them on heavy duty paper. And, you know, it turned out really, really well. So we have the whole museum. So it's, there'll be quite a few. But just to review, these are some of the photos that are, it's judged or juried exhibition. So it's unlimited number of entries. They have the judges, and well, it's probably going to be about 40 to 60 photographs or art pieces, we'll call them, in the exhibit. So here's an example of a Latin Venice scene. This is Art's one of, I didn't see you when I was in Venice. Art, where were you? Well, he was on the boat. Was that you? Yeah. No, it's, the judging is August 1st. Yeah, and so the entry, I'm gonna mail in and I'll put out a link to the entry portal. Another one of Art's. Donna's. Karen, this is one of my all-time favorites. Mail-in. And so there's the categories again. And so the entry date, they have to be in by August 1st. The judging is the first week of August. And the judges, just as an FYI, are all non-photographers. So, and that's okay because, you know, it isn't really photography, you know. So, but one thing, you know, that's interesting is the group that meets every month. You know, it's Karen and Donna and myself and Art and Malin and several others. All great, you know, really good photographers. And it hasn't taken away from their photography. It turns out it's another creative outlet. And I think that being photographers helps you with the AI because it helps you in crafting the prompts and thinking about it because you can where you want the light to come from and the name of the exhibit, if you noticed, was Words is Art. So it's really about crafting the prompt as a different language. And we kind of laugh because each of us uses a different model for the most part. I use Midjourney a lot. Karen and Donna, they like Bing. Sue Christensen uses Firefly. So each of those is like a dialect in that in language. And so if you were put the same prompt in each one of those models, you'd get totally different results each time. So it's really a creative outlet for these photographers. So if you're interested in doing that, we're looking for the entries, and the Art Center will be judging them, and then I'll be working to get them all printed and mounted for the exhibit. So, and Malin we'll put out that link. Malin put together a portal just like our regular outings portal. So, thanks. Yes.
We have, can we send regular prints there?
Yeah, but you'll get charged for those.
The gallery's gonna pay for the print?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
A grant
Grant.
before it gets good off.
I just want to point out that this program is on the web and you can get to the program, but you will need to send me an email. You log in with your email only. I'm not doing logins and passwords and all that stuff. It's just your email. So if you know Jim's email, you can put his pictures in on his account, but he'll take them out. I need your email before you can get in there to actually submit anything. So send it to me. Good.
Okay, July theme show by Christina Skibicki. And I believe the theme is flags, simply flags tonight. I always enjoy this.
Winner is 2560. Art Becker picked the ticket, so we have a winner? No? Oh, you do? All right. Bob Kennedy.